I wanted to give you an update of how the trip went. So I was on the road for about 100 days. Here's near Mojave, California, and headed up the 395 to Red Rocks. Went up to Alabama Hills, and just loved that area. Met a lot of other van life folks up there. Like I say, I made more friends in 3 months with this thing than I've made in the last 3 years. So that's Mount Whitney in the background there, and that is on the way to Bishop. And following this semi, seen that sexy bitch right there. I was like, ow. Got up to Wave Ray Snowboard Shop, picked up a Libtech, and I'm going to try doing that again. My back is still a joke, but it's getting better. Nah, it's not, but I'm going to try to snowboard anyway and call it rehab. Hopefully I'm still able to do it. This was up at Lake Crowley, and the trout fishing was really good. That's one of my favorite pictures of the 66. Went in the backside to Yosemite. They actually let us in there. That's Half Dome. And you can see that it really looks odd, but all that was smoke. Unfortunately, most of that was terrible smoke there. We were down in the valley where most of the smoke had settled. So we ran over did the PCH coming down through. That's a shot of Brody, a ghost town, kind of hopping around here. But P. Soup Anderson's, I just love that old sign. And this was on a way to the Grand Canyon. And it was just a spectacular sunrise. Went out to the Navajo Nation on the way to the Grand Canyon and was talking to them, and they've been getting really hammered by the coronavirus. Apparently, the mortality rate among the Navajos is 6 to 8 times the general population, so they have to be very careful. That's why a lot of the artwork has masks and things on it, but there's some really cool graffiti along the way. And I really, really enjoyed talking to everyone there. Got a cool piece of driftwood. That's in Sedona. So I got a cool piece of wood for my cabinets. And that was another day in Sedona. Kind of got me hyped back into mountain biking. And this is my old petrified wood sink. I still haven't installed yet. I've got to find a live edge countertop before I can. Went through Yellowstone on the way back and got some of those. Just, for a guy from Florida, this place is spectacular. And this is one of the coolest places here. It's Grand Prismatic Geyser or Spring, but you can see the colors are just insane. And then there's moose tracks in the bottom left of that. Another picture of the panoramic of the spring. And then from there, I went over to Horseshoe Bend in the Grand Canyon. And I got there really lucky early in the morning. And it was one of the prettiest places I'd ever been. Caught that golden hour. I was really stoked. And then this is where Forrest Gump decided to stop running, and pretty cool shot of the 66 there. And coming from Florida, getting to see all these mesas and all the rock formations, just really, really cool. Went through Texas, got to hang out with the Horny family for a little bit, and got to meet his daughters and granddaughters and nieces, and they gave me this photo, and it's just so crazy to think that was the original 66. And this is down in Daytona Beach at the Costa Del Mar headquarters. That's all my junk in the back. It looks like Sanford and Son, but it allows me to do my bikes and keep my kayak in there for catching little tarpon like that and then some better tarpon like this one. And I ended up getting 3 that day right by New Smyrna. I love it. The ibis are pacing me, just flying along, looking for breakfast. And this is the Cape Canaveral Merritt Island Wildlife Refuge. And I just love these salt marshes like this. There are some fish over there, and the water's way higher than normal, but sure is pretty. Ponce de Leon Springs, where he thought the Fountain of Youth was. Great place for breakfast. Someone else was nice enough to write an article on the 66. Absolutely love it. And then cool shot in Louisiana, just out on the beach there. I love that this thing's so capable off-road. The road was underwater, but it led to that great shot. And then I was able to catch dinner for me and a couple other folks that night. We ate up this black drum. Next morning, went out at sunrise and the salt flats. Ended up in Texas later that day. I love how capable that thing is on the beach. This is in Austin. I had always wanted to go there. And this is where the bats come out of the bridge at night. Pretty awesome. I was checking out real estate there. This is going into the Grand Canyon. And some more shots of the Grand Canyon. Just, being a Florida boy, it's spectacular. I was so happy there. I really, really enjoyed myself. I've never been to the Grand Canyon proper. I've been to Horseshoe Bend, which was one of my favorite places I've ever been. But it's so pretty. I'm really emotional, and I haven't been emotional very much lately at all. But so I'm at the Mather Outlook right there, and I still got all the rest of this to see. So cool. It's just, if you get a chance to come. It's beautiful. I mean, I'm so blown away at how much more impressive it is in real life. I just had no idea. I've seen it from a plane, I've seen photos, but like, it's breathtaking. It's really indescribable. I love it. I actually got teared up. It was so badass. I would love to see the reaction of the first person, whether it be a Native American or a settler, whoever it was that stumbled across it, and like was just like, what the hell? Because when you're coming up to it, you'd have no idea. And then you look over the cliff and it's like, oh, it's just amazing. Love it. Man, I'm lucky and thankful. If you have the opportunity to go, I can't put the place into words. I still have to do a lot more exploring there. But after the Grand Canyon, went over to, this is Antelope Island near Salt Lake City, Utah. And these buffaloes just right beside the road. All these shots are taken with an iPhone, nothing fancy. And then this big guy, I want him to be my friend so bad. Ended up in West Texas, woke up to 12 degrees. But around Houston, look at what gas was, $1.57 a gallon. And then back to California. Wah, wah, wah.